Dude stares at a crumpled $28 DoorDash receipt, thinking 2 burgers used to feed a week. He pulls out his phone, ready to compare what that price meant a few years ago. Dude flips through the grocery aisle, spotting a loaf of bread now $4 versus $1 back then. A notification buzzes, shipping delays are piling up, hinting at the hidden cost behind that price tag. Back at home, Dude watches a news clip about container shortages and port delays feeding higher food prices. Meanwhile, cashier mutters about staff shortages, adding another layer to the rising menu costs. Supply chain delays mean your avocados sit in a container ship for weeks before hitting shelves, dude. So when ports shut down, your everyday groceries cost more because the chain broke somewhere overseas. Dude checks a gas price on his phone, seeing a $3.50 gallon fuel costs are climbing fast. A tooltip pops. Higher fuel hikes transportation costs, which trickle up to the grocery aisle. On his banking app, Dude spots surging delivery fees and subscription add-ons, the price tags screaming. A doorbell rings. Landlord enters with a rent notice, tightening the financial pressure. Landlord arrives with a clipboard, announcing a rent hike driven by low vacancies and stalled construction. Dude sits at his desk, ready to jot down how rent ties into every everyday expense. Dude scribbles a sticky note listing the 5 forces, staring back at that $28 receipt. He vows to spot these forces next time, hoping to shop a little less terribly. You think X. The machine is actually doing Y. Shipping delays create artificial scarcity, forcing businesses to raise prices just to stay afloat. Bottlenecks cascade. One delay forces price hikes that ripple through every meal you buy. You think X. The machine is actually doing Y. Understaffing means higher wages, which get baked into every menu price. Service bottlenecks equals price bottlenecks. That $12 burger, half goes to paying workers who can't find better jobs. You think X. The machine is actually doing Y. Energy price swings directly affect everything from gym fees to food delivery costs. When oil prices jump, your DoorDash fee jumps too. That's not inflation. That's corporate pricing power. You think X. The machine is actually doing Y. Companies raise prices because they can, not because costs increased. Market dominance lets them charge more. That $12 toast, 70% profit margin. Not inflation, greed. You think X. The machine is actually doing Y. Small charges add up faster than you realize. That $28 burger? It's really $37 when you count all the hidden fees eating your budget. You think X. The machine is actually doing Y. Food prices aren't just rising, they're outpacing general inflation. That $3 milk? It's really $4.50 when you factor in housing and healthcare costs. Welcome to category inflation. You think X. The machine is actually doing Y. Service businesses build 200% plus profit margins into every meal. That $12 burger, $3.50 cost $8.50 pure profit. No supply chain issues, just math. You finally grab a spreadsheet because figuring out where your money leaks feels like a small victory. You label rent, food, subscriptions, then spot the forces you can actually control versus the ones that just happen. A news clip warns that containers sit idle, so ships can't bring groceries inland. Empty shelves mean higher prices, because every bottleneck adds cost to the basics you need. The cashier admits they're short-staffed, so overtime wages push menu prices up. Longer waits and higher bills become the new normal, when labor becomes a scarce resource. Your electric bill spikes, and that extra cost ripples through food production and heating. Energy volatility means every kilowatt adds a hidden surcharge to everyday essentials. A major retailer hikes prices even though their supply costs stayed flat. That's corporate pricing power profits prioritized over consumer stability. Your landlord cites limited housing inventory and zoning limits as the reason for the rent jump. Scarcity drives rent higher, turning a basic shelter into a premium expense. Hidden monthly fees pile up when forgotten subscriptions silently drain your account. Spotting those traps gives you a tiny edge against the endless cost creep. Dude thinks prices are fixed. Then he sees a cereal box jump $0.50 while he's still holding it. That's algorithmic pricing, bro. The store's computers change prices based on demand, inventory, and your browsing history. Dude tags each expense with its driving force. Supply chain, labor shortage, energy volatility, corporate pricing power. He's mapping the machine now. Every dollar has a reason to hurt. Actionable awareness, finally. Dude opens his banking app. The rent notification hits him like a punch. 18% increase, no upgrades, nothing changed in the apartment. Housing market pressure, bro. Landlords know inventory's tight, and you've got nowhere else to go. Cashier sees the gym membership structure now. Basic, premium, elite tiers. Each one costs more than last year's single price. Service unbundling, bro. They split what used to be one price into 3 expensive choices. Hidden cost creep. Dude finds healthcare deductions jumped again. $189 to $247. Same insurance, same coverage, higher cost. Insurance cost shifting to employees, bro. Employers make up for rising premiums by taking more from your paycheck. Cashier overhears a customer. $700 monthly payment for a Camry. Dude's jaw drops. That's more than his rent. Auto loan inflation, bro. Dealers mark up prices and finance charges. Transportation costs exploded while wages stayed flat. Dude finds mystery charges on his phone bill. Network improvement fee, data overage, fees he never authorized or ordered, telecom pricing obfuscation, bro. They layer fees on fees. Each one seems small until it's not. Landlords don't pick numbers out of thin air. They check comparable listings and apply market adjustments. It feels personal, but it's just corporate pricing power at work. Your landlord isn't the villain, the system is. When supply is tight and demand is high, every basic force pushes rent up. That DoorDash receipt? Same story, different force. Check your loan statement. If the interest accrual is bigger than your payment, your debt isn't shrinking, it's compounding. The balance grows while you pay. That's the hidden force behind student debt. The interest burden is the trap. Every dollar you think you're paying off, part of it just feeds the compound. Okay, now you see every force at play. Time to categorize each expense by what's actually driving it. Supply chains, corporate power, housing constraints, energy costs. This is your actionable framework. Once you see which basic force hits each cost, you can challenge the ones that are unfair and stop feeding the scams. Gas prices spike, and suddenly your electric bill doubles. Energy costs ripple through everything. Transportation, manufacturing, shipping. Every basic expense feels the force. That's the hidden connection. When energy prices jump, groceries get pricier, delivery costs rise, and your DoorDash order, yeah, that's energy cost too. Empty shelves aren't an accident. Container shortages and shipping delays create bottlenecks. Fewer goods reaching stores means prices spike. That's scarcity force in action. And here's the kicker. Even with empty shelves, companies still raise prices. No competition, no pressure. Your grocery bill proves it every week, and companies know you have no choice. They maintain fat profit margins because demand stays high even when budgets are thin. DoorDash alone takes about 30% off every order. So, yeah, the machine is built to extract from you. Now the question is whether you fight back or just keep feeding it. When a few companies control an entire market, they can raise prices faster than inflation and nobody can stop it. That's concentration, a force on your wallet. A major retailer jacks up prices, and you have no alternative. No competition means no pressure to keep costs down. Your DoorDash receipt? Same corporate playbook. New lease, higher rent. Your landlord cites property tax hikes and limited supply. Housing constraints are a force that drives up every cost in your budget. When rent climbs, everything else gets squeezed. Groceries feel expensive, DoorDash feels criminal, the housing cost spiral touches every basic decision you make about money. Dude scrolls through his phone, noticing 8 subscriptions, each charging $0.50 month. Wait, that's $60 year just for these tiny fees. Each month adds 50 cents. Over a year, that's $6. That's like buying a burger every month just for these fees. Dude checks a government website. Why's this taking 18 months? Inflation's eating me alive right now. Policy fixes take years. By the time this helps, prices will be even worse. Great. More delays. By adjusting these sliders, we can see how supply chains, policies, and labor interact to affect costs. This framework helps us understand how to balance all these forces affecting everyday prices. Dude checks his electricity bill. Wait, why did this go up $60 overnight? Oil prices spiked 50% this month. Guess that's why my bill jumped. Dude walks into a store. Why are beans $5 now? They were $3 last year. Ports are backed up. That's why everything's more expensive. Cashier, sorry, we had to raise prices. Can't find enough workers. They can't find workers, so they just charge us more. Dude checks Spotify. Why did this go up $5? They're a monopoly. They control 70% of the market. No competition means they can charge anything. Landlord. There are only 3 apartments left in town. You'll pay $2,500. Mortgage rates doubled. Now even buying a home is impossible. You think your credit card debt is bad. The central bank just raised rates by 0.75%. That tiny fee becomes a mountain. Cool. Now here's the punchline. That rate hike, it's why your minimum payment jumped $45 last month. You panic buy during inflation. Stores raise prices 20% to cover your rush. It's a vicious cycle. That $12.99 milk, it's 3x what it cost 5 years ago, and you're still buying it. You remember that $28 DoorDash receipt? That's 3x what it cost in 2020. Welcome to modern inflation. That's the story of everything. Supply chains, labor shortages, energy costs, they all add up. And now you know why. First step, track every subscription. That $15 Netflix, it's 400% more than cable in 2010. Second, buy generic brands. That $4 organic kale, switch to $1.29 regular kale. Your wallet will thank you. Third, say no to upsells. That $12 premium plan? You're paying for features you'll never use. That's it. You've gone from confused consumer to financially aware human. Now go make slightly less terrible choices.